This video is brought to you by Miniature Market. Thousands of board games, miniatures, and paints, discount prices at miniaturemarket.com. Hello everybody, it's your old pal Rob. Today we're actually going to be counting down something, which I normally don't like to do, countdowns and stuff like this. So it's kind of my opinion of things. What you may think may be totally different, and that's why we have comments, and we have email, and we have all kinds of ways on social media to give us your opinion constructively. That's the safest way for you, is to give it constructively. And because everybody's different, everybody has different views of things. So today we're going to be looking at something that somebody had mentioned something, and it just sparked this inside me, and I said, you know what, I'm going to do this, because I usually am not a big list guy, but it is what I consider the greatest expansions to a game of all time. Now there's a couple of things that get eliminated here, what I tried to do is, you know, Kickstarters that come out with like 17 expansions and all kinds of bonus stuff, I eliminate that. That is out. Also, expansions that are just figures, like Kingdom Death Monster, with all their beautiful expansions, they probably would be #1, but we're not counting things that just come out with figures and stuff like that. I'm talking an expansion that has, you know, some figures, some different types of rules, and all, you know, a kind of a gambit that kind of takes the game and enhances a game. Dark Souls was eliminated. I eliminated because, you know, even though that does that to some degree, there's just so much of it. It's just hard to pick one to say that's the greatest expansion. And does it make it so fantastic that it goes, that it changes the game so much? Dark Souls is a lot of fun. What it does is add more bosses and things like that, mega bosses, and that's what the expansions do. For me, it just didn't fit in there, even though it deserves a mention here. Along with Aventura, a lot of the expansions give you different types of quests and all that other stuff, but it doesn't change the game for me, and that needed to be honorable mention. And I'm going to give you an honorable mention right off the bat, and there's a reason that this isn't in the top 10, because it's kind of similar and kind of fits into the same type of game, and that is Warhammer Quest, the original 1995 Catacombs of Terror, which is just an absolute fantastic masterpiece. You know, when you wanted more of this, and you love this game as much as I do, and this came out bringing, first of all, the model in there is absolutely beautiful. The additional boards, the extra cards, the extra treasure, all these wonderful things just made this like one of my favorite expansions of all time, and it deserves an honorable mention. And you'll see why later in the video, and why it's not in my top 10. But let's start off. Let's start off with a company that does not get the love I think it deserves, and that is my friends at Lock and Load Publishing. David has done such a remarkable job with Lock and Load, and the game is absolutely fantastic. And if you look at Lock and Load as a whole, and all the stuff that it does, and covers, and the simplicity, and how they keep on improving their games each and every year, this is why they get the number 10 slot. But you think it would be a war game? No, it is Space Infantry. Space Infantry is glorious, and if you haven't played it, shame on you. Go to Miniature Market, go get it. I'm telling you, you won't be disappointed. We did some videos on it. Go see my friend Gimpy, the Gimpy Gamer. He did like 40 sections of it, you know, broken down in a couple of minutes, so you can just absorb it along the way, and he did a fantastic job. But that's what Gimp does. That's why he's the man. But check out Space Infantry, the expansion. What does it do? it takes the game, and where you have a box that almost weighs like 10 pounds itself, and gives you even more. And it expands upon the game and makes the game bigger and more mind-blowing. You have to put a helmet on when you play this one, because you just don't want your brains all over the place, because it is that much fun. The experience, everything that it does is just glorious, and that's why it's at number 10. And number 9 is old school tactical Stalingrad. Now, I remember getting this at a convention, an overpriced convention in Orlando. Those criminals. Recon. Okay. I really like going there. It's close. It's small. It's intimate. And I never knew anything about old school tactical. When I saw this sitting on someone's table, I went, oh man, I got to get this. And I went over to one of the booths, and a guy had it. He goes, yeah, I'll sell it to you. I go, okay. I bought that, and then I saw the Stalingrad, and that map, and how that ties in with everything, and just takes old school tactical and takes it here, okay. And I was blown away by it, and Mark Walker and all the wonderful people over at Flying Pigs Games. This is just fantastic. Now, I can go volume 2, volume 3, and everything that they do for it, but I believe they are different games. You can play them on your own, so they don't count as an expansion. But the Stalingrad expansion, glorious. Go check it out if you don't know. Go to Miniature Market again. You can find it there. Our boys over at GMT put out some of the best war games you will ever play. And let me just tell you that I love everything that they do. And Talon is one of my, here's a company that does a lot of, war games and stuff like that. But some of their space games, between Space Corp and all the other stuff that they come out with, are just glorious and so well put together. And Talon 1000, the expansion there, you took such a fantastic game and took it to the nth level, adding more fleets and things like that. And it takes a game that you love and make you love it even that much more. At number 7 is a game that I absolutely love, and if it only came out as that, I would be fine. And picking an expansion from this game is very hard, because there's so many great things that they do and have. But Too Many Bones, Undertow, one of the very first expansions that they came out with. I mean, they had a couple different characters, they had the 40 days, but this one was the first full one that you could play on your own if you wanted to. But I like how you integrate your characters in. You can change up a few things and stuff like that. Undertow to me is a fantastic experience and expansion for it. It kind of falls on the borderline, but I had to include it because I absolutely love it, and it made me love Too Many Bones that much more. Too Many Bones is really about the characters and the story that they go on, and being able to take those characters from Too Many Bones and go into Undertow does so much to me. Some people may categorize it as an expansion and not. I kind of do, because I always felt that what endears me to Too Many Bones is the characters and what they do and how they act, and how you just become emotionally involved with them and their story. For me, home run, Too Many Bones. A game that we actually talked about not too long ago is Folklore. Folklore is a phenomenal experience, and even though it's sat on my shelf, try to get that out a couple times, for almost 3 to 4 years after the time I had purchased it. Once I started playing it, there was no stopping it. And when I finished playing the original box, I was, oh God, what am I going to do? I go, well, let me take a look at this, the expansion. Maybe it just adds more figures. I don't know. No, it just adds so much. And it continues on. And Dark Tales is so phenomenal. It just takes a very dark twist and adds so much to what is already a fantastic game. And I know they have another expansion coming out that might take the place of this. I don't know. I can't wait. All I know is, Julie, you did it again as always. And just Greenbrier Games, I've never played a bad game from them, nor have I played a bad expansion. And Dark Tales is just absolutely fantastic. At number 5, the original first edition Space Hulk was a game that had gotten so much play. I still have it along with the 3rd, the 4th, and the 5th edition. But Deathwing. When Deathwing came out, it took and just blew me out of the water. Because now all of a sudden you're able to add the Deathwing and so many different things, Psychers and all this other stuff that were just added into this. And it just elevated what is already a classic game by itself. I wish they would just please Games Workshop, if somebody accidentally runs into this video, because I know you're not going to watch it ever, just please, your Space Hulk, you want to make money, put out an expansion for the Space Hulk. Okay, it's a great game. It deserves to be continued. It needs the expansions. The original expansion was well received. It is a hot item always on eBay to get for people to get their hands on. You're missing the boat if you don't reprint it for your newest edition, because boy, with the quality and everything that you guys do, you can really blow it out of the water. So Deathwing for Space Hulk, highly suggested. At number 4, Blood Bowl is one of my all-time favorite games. And without this expansion, Blood Bowl is a great and fantastic experience. But this expansion took it to a whole level back in the day. And that is Death Zone, the original Death Zone. Not only did it introduce new teams, but it introduced campaign play and season play. And it sparked, I remember back in the day in the game stores when this came out, all the leagues that started up, and boom, you were off and running, and you took what I consider a cult game and made it a super cult game. It was so popular, and it turned everything upside down because everybody wanted to manage their team no matter what team it was, and giving such a selection to so many different teams was so fantastic. You didn't know who you were going to face in the league and how they would develop it, and learning how to play each and every team and against it. It made every week of your leagues and tournaments so much fun, giving so many things to star players and experience points and just taking and elevating your team, making your team more personal. And when somebody died, oh, how it hurt. And how it hurt the foundation of your team, and how you had a coach to recover a loss or someone missing a game. One of the greatest expansions of all time at number 4. But if I feel that one's really great, what are the next 3 that I consider some of the best of all time? Well, let's continue on. At number 3, this game I haven't played. I played once, but I played with a group, and I liked the game a lot. What made this game one of my favorite games of all time, and it popped up on that list now, and it's going to be there, was during the situation that we've gone through last year, was getting Zaya, Embers of the Forgotten Stars. I hope I said that right. This introduced solo play to me and changed how I looked at this game. Zaya is such a wonderful 4X sandbox type of game, and being able to play it solo is one of the most ingenious things ever. As I love TI 4, 5, whatever you want, or whatever version it's on now, but it takes forever, which doesn't bother me. But I have to have a whole bunch of people to play it. Well, I don't have that here, and neither do some of you. Those of you that are blessed enough, you get to experience this fantastic, wonderful game. To take and be able to fill that need with Zaya and this expansion and what it does, just makes it fulfills every dream I could ever have. And for me, it really does a lot of things for me. I can't speak enough of it. The quality, the beauty. Zaya is a fantastic game, but it becomes so much better with this expansion. Check it out if you haven't. I'm telling you, you won't be disappointed. Please do. And you can get it from their website, so please go check it out. At number two is a game, and this is why I left Warhammer Quest as an honorable mention. Another honorable mention, before I get to the top two here, is Space Empires. I always do things off the top of my head, so stick with me. And I forgot to mention this early on. Space Empires Replicators, GMT just being the very best that they are, and really knocking it out of the park. It's hard to try to fit all this into a top 10, and any one of these can easily be replaced by any one of these two, Warhammer Quest and Space Empires. You can easily fit one in one of these spots. And yet I had to make a decision, and I stick by my decision. At number two, and we talk about Warhammer Quest, okay, and their expansions, I think because this game is so closely tied to this expansion that I had to choose one, and I had to go with the original. And Hero Quest Witch Lord expansion. Now, as a kid, loving that game as much as we did and having as much fun as we had, and seeing these expansions come out, you could not help but go and lose your breath when you saw this at a Caldors, which don't exist anymore, Kmart that didn't exist anymore. How many people remember Mammoth Mart? Because that's where I bought my copy, was at Mammoth Mart. Go figure on that one. I remember it was in Foxen when I lived in East Haven, Connecticut. I went down there and I saw that, and I was able to get it. I came home, read it, and went over to my friend's house. I said, we're playing Hero Quest. And then I broke that bad boy out. And that was our Friday, Saturday, and Sunday before we went back to school. But we had such a phenomenal, fantastic time. And it brings back such wonderful, wonderful memories. For me, it really does a lot. Now, when I saw Catacombs of Terror, it reminded me a lot of Witch Lord. And if you really think about it, Hero Quest, Advanced Hero Quest into Warhammer Quest, they all kind of evolved into what they are and what they will be. And that is where Hero Quest, I think as the original, needs to be at number 2. And God knows they're reprinting it, so it's going to be there for you folks. Definitely check it out. But my number one, my all-time number one, I really feel that really hits it home, was something that really transcended this game. Are there better expansions out there? Maybe. That do the same thing but do it better? Yeah, I would say so. But for me, I go where my heart is as well as my head, and when I make a decision. Descent has been around for forever, okay? And it is a game that has a life that has been around for a long time, and I think it has to be considered, one of the top dungeon crawlers of all time, especially to me, the first edition. That's just me, okay? Some people like the second edition more. For me, it's a race against time with the second edition at times. And because I haven't really worked with the app, I can't give it a super fair assessment, the second edition. I go with what I've seen and played. And maybe in the future, when I do more with the app, that might change. Because all things are subject to change. But Descent First Edition, Road to Legends, has to be considered one of the greatest expansions because of what it does. It takes the campaign and it gives you this advanced campaign and does so much. And it really extended the life of this fantastic, wonderful experience, all the way to the point that its popularity caused it to be a second edition to come out. Okay? And the app is actually called Road to Legends in honor of this phenomenal experience and expansion. And if you haven't played it or had the chance, I really suggest you can get a bundle on eBay, affordable, with the original edition and a Road to Legends. They're out there and they're decently affordable. They're not cheap, but they're not $600-700. So of course there's people out there that'll do that. But this stands out. It's strong. It stands on its own, and it takes this wonderful game with a great foundation of rules and just takes it to the nth degree. Now, the other day we came out with a video about why you should get this game. And, I said some things as, that this is the foundation of the boxed dungeon crawl. And what I meant was more the modern boxed dungeon crawl. Hero Quest, that's just one. It's not a bunch of tiles. And people can say, well, what about Warhammer Quest? Well, Warhammer Quest was a specialty game. I don't think it was as mass market and got to as many people as Descent. And that's what I meant, because after that, then you started seeing all these different kinds of duplications of this fantastic experience. And this expansion just took and just went another level. It took Descent, the first edition, and took it another level and opened the door for thousands of things. And I'm telling you, this is one that you will not be disappointed ever with. And I really highly suggest you take a look at it, see it, and experience it. Again, these are my opinions, and that don't mean nothing worth a hill of beans. Okay? But that's why we have comments and we have email, novaprime860@hotmail.com. I love to hear what you have to say. I love to see your list. I love to look, and maybe I forgot some things. Maybe I go, oh boy, I wish I put that on my list, because there's just so much out there. But these are what I consider the greatest expansions of all time, according to Rob's Tabletop World, which, in all, really doesn't mean anything. It puts it out there for conversation, and that's what I enjoy. Good, solid conversation. And to read your comments is a joy each and every time. So please, leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts. I can't wait to hear what you think. Until next time, it's your old pal Rob saying, we'll see you soon.